Hey, what's up, beautiful Bale friends? Welcome to another episode of the Bart and Geo podcast, Balecast. I did all of it.
Good job.
Thank you. Today I wanted to talk about something that this is a conversation I've had with like multiple friends of ours, and it's something that I feel like a lot of people don't know, or they feel like they're probably wrong, and it's how we
Do you change your oil?
No, that's so easy.
A lot of people don't know how to do that these days.
My car, you don't even need to change your oil.
Oh, damn, for reals?
Yeah, it's a Tesla.
What
oil?
about transmission fluid? There's got to be some sort of fluids in there.
I'm sure there's a bunch of fluids, but I
just no
haven't
motor
serviced
oil.
it anytime. I don't know. Maybe I'm overdue, but my car hasn't said anything.
Damn.
He didn't tell me
That's
anything.
dope.
I know. But this topic keeps being brought up over and over and over again, and it's couples, and this is only for cis like straight couples, is when it's a guy and a girl, and then the girl's like, and I don't think it's. I mean, I just don't know. I don't have the knowledge of like when it comes to gay couples, but one person's always like, hey, when we get in a fight, my partner, regardless if they're male or female, they're like, they want to talk about the problem right then and there. And then the other one will be like, no, I can't talk about it. I'm too emotional. I need my space. And I've had this conversation with a lot of our friends who are in the relationship. And I'm not saying this is all across the board, but at least in our group, there's always one that needs to talk about the problem right then and there. And then there's another one that's like, no, I need my me time. I need to figure out, I need to feel it. And I think that's just an interesting thing to hear that other people kind of like go through the same shit. Because in our relationship, I'm the one that needs my space. Like, I'm so emotional. I need to just feel my emotion. I need to understand why it is that I'm feeling what I'm feeling. And then I'm like calm and I get it. And now I can speak on what I just felt.
What are you, I guess, like not scared of, but like, what are you scared of speaking right then and there?
I'm not scared of anything.
You're
I'm
not?
just feeling too much. So I'm feeling so much, it's overwhelming, and all I can do is now just be fucking pissed at you.
And don't you want to channel that anger and talk to me about that anger?
I do channel that anger, and that's when the yelling happens.
Oh.
Yeah, and I am talking to you, but I'm talking to you angry now.
Oh, I see.
And it's not very productive or constructive. If anything, it's just made for me to feel better, because now I'm like, oh, okay, you see how I'm feeling now, and I'm not doing it on purpose. Like, it's more like, this is what I'm feeling now. I want you to feel what I'm feeling at the same time.
So I can't speak for other people, but for how I operate. So I'm one of those that need to speak right then and there types of people. And this is the reason why I have to do that. So I think it's like a two-parter. So the first part, because
The first parter?
Yeah, the first parter, because I don't have a lot of emotional threshold, if you will. Like, I can't, emotions really like knock me down on the ground, and I can't handle them that well. So the minute I feel emotions, or if I feel any type of negativity or anger or sorrow, I'm in such misery that I need to shut it down immediately, which is why I need to talk it out, like get like figure out, put a Band-Aid on it, or else it's just, I'm bleeding and blood is just coming out. So I'm just drowning. I'm literally just drowning in emotions. That's the first part.
I feel the same way.
Oh, really? So that's my first part. But then you don't have this need to want to fix it. Like, there'll be times where like, you're like,
Well,
I'm still sitting on this emotion for days.
Well, it's not the need of wanting to fix it. It's just I'm uncovering why it's so deep, why it hit me so hard.
Oh, yeah. I think for me, I need to uncover with that person.
Oh, I see.
So you got to figure it out with that person. And for me, it's like, it's immediate, where I'm like, I'll drive over to your house right now. You live in New York. I'll drive across the city. I'll meet you in like 4 days or 5 days. You know, like, that's the first part. The second part for me is that because I have such low emotional threshold, it's hard for me to revisit or solve things that I'm over. So if I wait until my own healing has been done, then it's already over and I don't really care about it anymore. So when we talk about something, like we try to revisit it, I'm like, there's no weight to it. I don't really care. I'm over it. You know? So it's almost to me about like
How do you ever solve anything? How do you
then and there. You know, like if I fell off a bike, I need to figure out how I fell off right then and there. But if I fell off a bike and then I'm already learning how to skateboard, then if someone goes, "Oh, how did you fall off that bike?" I'm like, I don't really care. I'm skateboarding now.
Yeah, but like you never go about it like solving your emotion though. Like you're only fixing the logical part of it of how the falling off the bike felt, but then you never get to understand that the pain that follows is normal and it's okay to feel that and like even sit with that sometimes.
But I can't. You know, some people, they can eat a lot of spice. Some people, they can't handle the spicy. So emotions to me are a spice, and it's just way too much. It's too much for me.
But you've grown so much in our relationship where now you actually feel a lot more. And because you feel a lot more, you can empathize more. Because you can empathize more, you've made deeper connections with our friends and me.
Yeah, it's still a lot. It's like, okay, cool. Now I can eat salsa verde, and people are trying to have the fucking salsa rojo, and that shit's just burning my mouth like a motherfucker.
But yeah, looking back at the old Barto and then looking at this new guy, it's like, oh shit, you've come a long way. Yeah.
Or maybe I've had to because of my new surroundings and my new peeps that I had to adapt, you know, like the dolphin had to come out of the water and figure out how to breathe on land. So then I became a salamander or something, you know, I had to. But if I would have stuck with my old friends, maybe I could have stayed a dolphin and just stayed in the water.
I don't know. I knew those old friends. I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, like, but what's really cool is being with you now, it forces me to like work that shit out quick. Cause like for you, like it's not fair for you when I'm like sitting in it for days and you're just like, fuck. Like, I can't wait for days. Why is it always Gio's way, you know? And now it's going like, okay, wait, like we need to say when we're going to talk about this shit and we got to talk about it, you know? And I can't be selfish and just be like, well, when I'm ready, I'll talk to you. Cause then it's like, well, what about your feelings? But I've heard it from like a lot of our friends' relationship where it's like one of them, again, it doesn't matter if it's like a guy or a girl, one of them has to talk about it right then and there. And the other one has to like feel it and just go through it.
And I mean, I don't know if it's like an emotional threshold thing maybe, or maybe it's like an energy thing. But for me too, I kind of have to talk through my thoughts. And then so I know, you know, I mean, through all of our fights that we've had, I know like in the beginning when we try to force the conversation, I'm like, I'm not pissed right now. I'm being logical right now. Even though I'm being very emotional and not logical at all. But
Every time he has to say that he's not being logical, or if he has to point out that he's logical or fight that he's logical, I'm like, you're being very emotional. He's like, no, I'm fucking logical.
I'm fucking logical right now.
I'm like, okay, I'll talk to you later. You're being very emotional.
But I have to get all that pre-cum out. You know what I mean? Like I have to get that out, and that's how I work. Like that's how this penis works. I have to talk.
You are a dick.
Talk out all that pre-cum. And then finally, the good stuff that you've been wanting finally comes out.
Yeah, but then I'm getting all the fucking emotional abuse of the. It's like, we're not going anywhere. Just wait then.
Well, I can't, because by the time I'm flaccid, and then you want to talk about it, I'm like, I don't really care. I'm already over it.
Then it wasn't even a big deal to begin with.
Nothing ever is a big deal. My parents can die, and I'm like, oh, I'm over it. Cool. I got a new set of parents.
So if I die, it's not a big deal?
Depends. Give me some time, and I might be over it.
Well, no shit. Give anyone some time and they'll get over it. Yeah. So if I die, you're not going to be sad?
I won't be really sad.
But if your parents die, you're not going to be sad?
I'm going to be sad for a little bit. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm a very state-driven person.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can tell. People, when they lift weights, they're like, oh, I'm going to go get fit. For me, I'm like, I'm going to fucking murder a fucking village. And then I go, and I channel that fucking energy just to, like, do some curls or something. You know? So I'm a very state-driven person. So if I'm not in state, I don't give a fuck. If I'm in state, I can do anything.
God damn.
Right? Like that's how I am. Like, so if it's like, that's why when it comes to, that's why I, like, you know, I'm at the club, someone steps to me, hey man, watch where you going, bro. I don't go, what? Fuck you. I go, oh, I don't care. You know? But then if someone bumps into my friend, I'm like, did you just bump into my childhood friend whom I vowed to protect his well-being? Boom, I'm in state. I'm ready to fucking wreck this guy. So that's how I am.
Yeah.
So that's why if I get out of state, nothing phases me and I don't really care.
Yeah. For you then, when it is that you have to work out your problems with that person, what are you seeking? Like you have to just blow off the steam first, or what you call pre-cum?
No, so I'm really trying to figure out the logical reasoning as to what happened so that I can try to prevent that, or we can come to an understanding of what happened and how to avoid that the next time.
So then it's emotional, the conversation, that's how it goes. And then as soon as we strike a chord, then you start calming down?
Yeah. The minute there's a solution, it's like air in the balloon. Boom. Oh, I feel awesome.
Because for me, once I find a solution, right? If I don't tend to the emotional part of it, then I have like this heaviness that I feel, because the problem is as a whole is part logic and part emotion. And if we just solve the emotional part of it, I still in my heart subconsciously feel like it wasn't resolved. Even though I can move on and I'm like, okay, logically I got it. It makes sense. But emotionally my heart's still really sad. You don't have that?
Not that much. I don't think so. I think I'm human, so I will, right? Like I think about maybe I'm less human than most people. Cause like a good example is I love all my dogs, right? But I think my emotion does fall behind my logic, or follows my logic, because for most people, when they think about their dogs, they can get teary-eyed, they can cry, you know? But for me, like with Tyson, who's lived with me for like 15 years, when I think about the life that we had and how he's been with me from when I was 15 till after I got married, like he saw me before I had my driver's license to after I got married. I'm like, man, this guy had an awesome life. So I don't feel sad at all. And so my emotion kind of follows behind the logic. On a lot of things, it's like that for me, where it's like I'm like logic driven, and then the emotions are dictated almost by my logic. Maybe I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. I don't know. I sound very like an Android user right now, but that's because that's how Android users are, right? Like when you're like, dude, that's the ugliest phone I've ever fucking seen. And you're like, but do you see the custom apps I can do? And so logically, okay, cool. I can customize my phone. Therefore, I love it. But then if you're an iPhone user, it's like love first, emotion first. And then you're like, can you customize it? No, but I don't care because I already fell in love, baby.
Oh man, I don't know.
So I think that was the most Android user I've ever sounded.
Nah, it's not.
And I feel embarrassed now because everyone knows Android users are whack. And I just admitted to being an Android person on the inside.
Yeah, you are a fucking Android person on the inside. But before we move on, let me introduce our sponsor. Okay, so thank you to our sponsor, Lightstream. If you own a credit card and you have any sort of debt on this, or multiple credit cards and you have accumulated a bunch of debt all across the board, then listen up. Or even if you know somebody that has this, listen up. And if you don't have it right now, still listen anyway, because if you ever get yourself in the situation, now you have a way out of it. So if you're like many of us, you carry a balance on your credit card. And if those credit cards come with high interest rates, like I've seen like 25, 27% interest rates. And for those of you that don't know what an interest rate is, it's basically on the credit card. They're saying, hey, we're going to lend you this amount of money, but when you pay it back, you're going to owe us a percentage more on every dollar that you just borrowed from us. So at the end of the day, when you go to a credit card, you actually pay more money. So that's what the interest rate is. You guys need to check out Lightstream, okay? So Lightstream can help you lower your interest rate and save money with credit card consolidation, which means if you have debt across different credit cards and each one has different interest rates, guess what? You're paying a lot more per credit card. So collectively, you're just paying a lot more money across the board. So what they'll do is they'll consolidate it, meaning if you have 5 or more than one, they're going to put all of that balance that you owe into one place with only one interest rate. And already you can imagine the amount of money that you're going to be saving. So quickly roll balances for multiple credit cards into one single monthly loan payment. And you can get a rate as low as 5.95.
That's good.
APR with auto pay and no fees.
That's better than 20.
That's amazing. So just for you guys listening right now, Apply right now to get additional interest rate discounts. That means what I just said could be even lower if you act right now to save even more money. And the only way to get this discount is to go to lightstream.com/bear, BEAW. That's lightstream.com/bear for additional discounts. I'm going to spell it out for you. For the people in the back, that's lightstream.com/bear, BEAW. Yeah, that's definitely you for sure. But I don't know, right? Because like, even though we've like, maybe because you're changing and you're becoming more empathetic and you're growing more of a heart. Recently, when we do have our little mini fights or whatever, or disagreements or whatever you want to call them, we'll resolve it, but then you need a hug afterwards.
I've always needed a hug. I told you.
So that's the emotional part of it. Like that's tending. So like, let's say we resolved it and I don't give you a hug. Like that's the equivalent of what I'm saying. Where you feel empty, like, hey, what, like we didn't seal it with the kiss. Like we didn't.
I've always needed a hug and a kiss and all that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I feel too. But like when I don't get that kiss, that version of it, then I'm just like, oh, what happened? I still feel so sad.
Yeah, we didn't seal the deal.
Yeah. But
I mean, I hug all my dead dogs at the last minute.
What? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about all my dogs. Like when they're dying, I always give them one last hug. Like even with the most recent one, Meatloaf, when we had to put him to sleep, I gave him one last hug.
Why are you bringing up the saddest shit right now?
I thought you were talking about emotions, so I'm trying to we're trying to figure out how we deal with emotions. I know, but
you're talking about death.
Oh.
And you're like making me remember like all my puppies.
I don't know. I feel like Meatloaf had a really good life with us.
Dude, we've lost so many dogs together.
Well, we've been together for 12 years now.
Forever years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we lost. Sorry, we're kind of deviating here, but the first dog we lost together was Patches, which is my dog. She was 15.
So she's already old.
She's my version of Tyson.
Yeah.
She was 15, and then Tyson passes because he was 15, and then after Tyson, it was Briggy.
Briggy, yeah, because she had the whole.
She had a seizure.
Had a seizure disorder.
And she was like 4.
Yeah.
And then it was Meatloaf, whom we thought was also 4.
But he was 10.
But he was over 10 because we adopted him. We rescued him from a shelter and they lied to us. Yeah, that's 4 dogs in our relationship. And Fawny is kind of next because she's already losing her hips and getting really slow. Oh my God, I can't keep doing this.
Fawn has actually seen a lot. So we got Fawn after Patches passed away. And this is before we had the JK office. We're still working out of the house.
She met Brown.
So yeah, Fawn has seen JK move into an office and all of that.
Was she living with us in the back? Oh, no, not anymore. When we lived in the garage? No, not anymore.
I forgot.
I don't think so.
She lived with us in the mid-house?
Oh, no, she did live with us in the back. Because I remember Briggy tore up that couch. And she would always lay in our bed with us. Yep, she lived with us in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, Briggy would destroy our...
Damn, Fawn lived in so many houses with us.
Yeah.
She lived in Monterey Park, Alhambra House, downtown LA.
Yep.
To our other house, our first house that we bought.
And now this one.
Damn.
She went from a garage.
I wonder if she's like, man, these fools need to stop moving. I'm fucking tired of this shit.
Probably. She's so sweet though, man.
She's really sweet.
I hope she never dies. She's so damn sweet. But yeah, conflict resolution. That's some shit I'm still learning right now. Just like so I've taken on more of like a, I guess, I don't know, like a CEO position, I guess, at Barbell. And like now I'm dealing a lot with just interpersonal relationships with all of, our team members. And like everyone approaches problem solving completely different from yourself. And everyone sees problems completely different. And then everyone feels the problems completely different.
And then
it's just so different. And it's just like,
and some people don't see problems as problems, and some people see no problems as problems.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And so I can totally see, like, before, like they have that the stereotypical like, after work, let's grab some drinks. I completely get it, because a lot of times like you just need to vent or talk about something,
And a drink is so nice because you're so fucking stressed.
Yeah, and then people, they go out and they talk, and then they finally talk it all out, you know? Because I think it's really hard to, like, when you're being paid on the hour to work stuff out, you kind of just got to throw emotions aside. Okay, I'm not here to fucking, you know, have a heart-to-heart with you right now. If we need to sell this paper to that company, we need to sell that paper to the company. But then afterwards, why did you throw this thing on me last minute, or why did you change the prices on me, or why did you whatever, and then you get to finally talk it all out. So I completely get it now.
That's why I think you even brought up, you're like, that's why companies have fucking HR departments, because everyone approaches problems or non-problems differently.
Yeah, and I guess going back to your point, sometimes it's not the most productive. If, like, let's say I'm pissed at you for something, it might not be the most productive if I just go straight to your office. Hey, why did you do this? And there's just more and more conflict, and it causes distraction from the rest of the office. Sometimes it's easier to just rat on them, you know, and then go, hey, this whatever, this person did this to me. Because in HR, since they're not invested, they can go, okay, cool. I heard what Jim Halpert has to say. He didn't really mean, I can get to the core of what he's trying to say.
He didn't mean to put your fucking office supplies in Jell-O, okay, Dwight?
Yeah, and when HR is transmitting the message, they'll take out, like, fucker, son of a bitch, hate that motherfucker.
They're more diplomatic.
They'll take all that stuff out, and then they'll actually get to the root of the situation and hopefully calm it down, you know?
Yeah. You know, sometimes I wish, like, because so Bart and I, if you haven't noticed already, we're kind of opposite.
We're extremely opposite.
When it comes to just what
Everything.
we feel, how we feel it, and how we resolve what we're feeling.
Yeah.
Assuming it's bad. So I sometimes wish that we had our own HR department, or like our own, like, live-in psychiatrist or whatever therapist that, like, I'm like, therapist guy or girl person, can you please come here? This is a problem I'm feeling. Can you explain it to Bart, and then have him explain it to you? Because sometimes I feel like we speak completely different languages. Like, we're both speaking English, but we just don't understand it. It's like, I don't compute.
That's what the therapist is for, right?
Yeah, I mean, they help you work out your problems.
Like marriage therapist?
I know, but I just wish they lived with us, because sometimes it's on the, like, I need it right then and there.
That's
like, I don't
also
want to
what
get in my car and drive somewhere.
That's
like,
what the mother-in-law's for too, right? They're there to help out.
No, man, the mother-in-law is super biased.
Towards me.
I mean,
your mom always has my back.
she always has your fucking
we'll have
back.
like a little.
In my whole life, she's never had my back. What the fuck is up with that, Mom?
We'll have like a little tussle
She's
of
never
some
on
sort.
my side.
And then, as the minute you leave the room, she looks at me. She's like, oh, "It's okay. I feel for you. Don't worry about it." She'll
Fucking bitch. I'm just kidding.
And then I'm like, "I know. Thank you."
No, she always has your back when it doesn't matter. But when it matters, she always has my back.
And then we're like hugging, and I'm just like, finally someone understands me.
Yeah, you know what your mom does with us?
She's nowhere to be found. So
She's long gone.
Yeah.
She's not here. Or she's trying to fucking make us marry ourselves again. Or she's telling me to be a better secretary. That's what she tells me. She's like, you just need to be a better
how are you doing?
secretary.
Are you doing better secretary finally?
And I'm like, I'm not a secretary, lady.
Then what are you?
We're fucking, I'm an equal to your husband. I'm
you
not.
could be a secretary and be equal. There's nothing wrong with secretaries.
Yeah, I'm not here to do your work. I'm not here to keep
Why
you
not?
on track.
Why not? That's a good job.
No, you're an adult. You're here to keep yourself on track.
I'm down to be your secretary. What the hell?
I don't want you to be my secretary.
That's fucked up. Why not? I want to be your secretary.
I don't want you to be my secretary.
But I want to be your secretary.
Okay, cool. I don't want it. There's the job,
See,
the
that's
position's been
messed
filled. There's none.
Well, you do a bad job of secretary yourself, so I want to help you out.
What? Excuse me? Whose standards, yours or mine?
Everyone's.
No, I'm not here for everyone.
Oh, okay, fine.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, man. It's fucking, a relationship is hard. It's really hard. And I feel like we've been talking about this subject for a minute, but it's just, I learn so much literally every day. Like, the more I can learn about myself, the better I am at being with you. And the better, like, I realized the other day, I think I was taking a shower and I'm like, fuck. Where do you ever learn conflict resolution? You're supposed to learn it at home, right?
Don't you learn it in conflict resolution?
Is there a course?
I remember in high school, I would see conflict resolution. I'm like, what the fuck?
Is it because you were always in trouble? Because I didn't have
No,
that.
there was a club called conflict resolution, and there's a teacher, and they teach you how to do stuff. And
Is it an extracurricular activity?
No, it's an actual class.
What?
And I remember seeing the conflict resolution class.
And everyone's fucking beefing?
No, and I'm like, damn, these fucking pussies don't know how to fight? I'm like, these fools gotta talk it out? I'm like, fuck that. They straight up made a subject for bitches. I'm like, nah. I remember in high school seeing that, like going like, because then they would have sweaters. There was a conflict resolution club. So not only were they practicing conflict resolution, they're like, if people have conflict, go ahead and bring it in here. We'll help you guys out. And I just remembered like going, I can't believe
they publicly announced this.
that the school is going to support bitchism in here. I'm like, this is fuck. I'm like, I don't know what.
Bitchism?
Yeah, I'm like, I can't believe, I don't know what the world is coming to. I'm like, fuck that. If I have conflict, I'm going to fucking throw down and solve it like the real way.
Well, what are your thoughts on it now?
I love it. I think I wished I would have taken more of it and understand how things are, you know?
Yeah, because you can't throw down anymore.
But you know, when you throw down, honestly, it's one of the best feelings because it's kind of like the hug you're talking about.
When you win.
No. Win or lose. Win or lose. Like in Hawaii, right? Like the Hawaiian culture is you have beef with someone, go throw down, bro. Two people, they throw it down. All the homies get around those two people. Don't let anyone else jump in. Make sure they squat. Make sure make sure they settle it. And after they settle it, they help each other up, and that's it. They don't fight about that thing ever again.
I mean, but how do you know it doesn't come up in a different form?
It won't.
How?
When you release that much emotion, it's done. It's really done.
I don't think so. There's nothing that's done because there was nothing that was resolved.
Have you been in a fist fight with someone and you hug them after? It's a different understanding. It's like you just had sex with that person, literally, and it's.
What do you mean, literally?
So it's like it's a very extreme form of physical intimacy, right? And that's what I'm saying. Literally, it's literally like having sex. It's not intercourse. You're not plugging something into a hole.
I know, but you can have sex. But it's not going to resolve your problem is my point. Like, that's going to still come up. How much you want to bet? We can have the argument. If we start hate fucking each other, by the time we both have an orgasm, we're not even remember what the hell we fought about. Yeah, but I'm not saying... And that's fine, but I'm saying it's going to pop up again.
And then when we pop up again, we'll have the fond memories of us having sex. We're like, oh, that was awesome. I like where this is going.
You know what I mean? Are you just arguing for the sake of arguing?
No, I'm really not.
Oh, fine.
The type... Like, when you have beef with someone, right? And you guys unleash on each other, and you know the feeling that when you punch a pillow and you're so fucking pissed?
I understand that.
No, you don't. And you punch it like crazy. So imagine both you and I are pissed, right? You go punch your pillow for an hour. I punch my pillow for an hour. And you come back and we're like, oh, that felt good. All right, let's ready to talk. It's like that. Except imagine the pillow was me, and then we're punching each other. It's like an extreme form of recovery.
I know, and it is. But I'm just saying the problem isn't resolved.
But the problem never needed to be resolved. Because it's never really a problem.
I mean, I guess.
Problems are never really problems. They're just whoever's insecure at the moment, and then it triggers the other person's insecurity.
I mean, but it's still a problem. What are you talking about?
It's not a
you
problem.
sound like a fucking philosopher.
No,
if the fucking tree falls, do you hear it fall?
There's really no problems because the world is going to be the world.
Okay, so you mean there's really no problems in what regard? Like if you're poor, there's no problems? Like if you don't have money to eat, that's not a problem?
There's some poor... So there are some people that are really happy when they're poor, right? What I'm saying is problems are really just a biased viewpoint of happenings. And then I'm saying this in a truly natural sense, right? Like animals don't go, fucking problems, man. They don't even know what problem is. They just go. They
don't even know they exist, though.
They do. They just go, okay, hungry, need to find food. But they don't go.
That's a problem.
But they don't even view it as a problem. They just see it as a thing. It's just a thing. Problems are what humans color things as.
All right.
So we color it as a thing and we make it deeper than what it is when it's just a thing. You know what I mean? Like, for example, when you have a rich guy, he crashes his car to a poor person. We're like, oh my God, what a fucking problem. What's he going to do? The rich guy's like, thank God I could buy a new car now. So to them, crashing his car is a blessing. That's why it's just a car crash is just a thing. It's a car crash. There's no emotional weight, positive or negative. Problems are what humans put our own insecurity and our own bias and we throw it on there. So that's what problems are. And so to me, like, let's say a cop pulls me over and they could be talking to me nice. But if I'm insecure, I'm like, look at this motherfucking cop coming all up on me, writing a ticket and shit. Like, that's me, my own insecurity coming out. Or the cop could be a straight fucking dick, but I'm zen that day. I'm like, oh man, how many guys this guy pull over today? Man, I feel bad for this guy. This guy got to get off his motorcycle and risk his life just to walk all the way to give me a ticket. I'm like, man, I should have been driving safely so that I don't have to make him pull over.
I want to stay in that state.
But that's what I'm talking about. So they're just things. Things are just happening, and nothing really is a problem. It's the viewpoint that makes things a problem. Because planets are going around in a circle, right? What happened?
I hate when you're right.
Flip it, Kenny. So, like, planets are just going around in a circle. That's it.
But there's still problems there.
No, they're not problems. They're just going around in a circle. Problems are when you now give the planets a human voice, and then, like, Earth is all of a sudden like, oh, so you gonna take sunlight away from me half the time and then give me back sunlight the other half the time? Oh, shit, I see how it is. Why the fuck that fucking Mars got sunlight for 3 days straight then, huh? And then now all the planets are all fucking beefing. They're all fucking beefing and shit. And like, oh, Neptune all cold over there and shit. And then fucking Mars all hot. I'm frying here, motherfucker. I'm fucking frying. How come I can't be like Neptune? He got all the AC and shit. And then you give.
Fuck. Can you guys just cut this part out? Like, cut this part and just fucking put it all over the internet.
So you give planets like human voices. It all becomes problems. But when you take the humanness out of it,
so you're just saying everyone should be quiet?
It's just things. They're just spinning around. It's just things.
I know, but how boring is that? That's why we were given a voice.
No, but I'm just saying.
I know
so
what you're saying. So
nothing really is problems. It's our own insecurity when people are like, oh, you see that blue motherfucker right there thinking he's all cool with them like clouds and shit?
I get it.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a terminal illness. But even then, some people could still view it completely differently.
Yeah. Because in reality, an illness really is just a thing. How many things got terminal illnesses in nature? You don't see trees complaining about it. Yeah. They just go, I'm turning into a fungi. And just freeze. Or like, they go, oh shit, I got termites on me. And they're just like, I'm going to be turned into a holy tree. And they just go away. You don't see them fucking complaining and shit.
I don't know. I mean, I guess you make a lot of valid points. But for me, I just wished I grew up with, I don't even wish this shit, but like, it would have been nice if I just understood conflict resolution. Like if I was taught to talk through what you're feeling and walk it through. And now we have a healthy way of dealing with that. It was more like we just fucking yell at each other. And this is mainly between me and my siblings. We just yell at each other, and then my mom's caught in the middle trying to bounce back and forth between he said and she said and trying to like calm us down. It's like, nah, fuck that bitch.
One thing that I wish that I was taught in terms of conflict resolution is how much we fight to protect our ego. And it's really both people just fighting to protect their ego.
It is.
Because it's like, you know how many times people, they know they're already wrong?
Yeah.
But they can't admit that they're wrong?
Yeah.
So they're fighting, right? Versus usually fights de-escalate the minute someone goes,
I fucked up, I'm sorry.
Or they drop it or whatever. And then it goes like that, right? And I wished I knew I can catch on from when my ego's talking and not when I'm talking. Because when I'm saying like, oh yeah, I'm not emotional right now. I'm logical. That's really the ego talking. And I wish like in the heat of the moment, I can catch my ego trying to fight the fight for me. And because I even feel the entire body change when that guy's gone. And then when I'm talking to you and then you go, you see this guy? This guy's soft. And I'm like, oh yeah, because the ego disappeared. I'm like, I wish I can like catch on to that. I
know. I wish I could do it too, man. I think it just takes a lot of practice and a lot of self-awareness. And a lot of like understanding when it's like you or the ego coming in. It's hard.
Because the ego is also like a huge dictator of your insecurities too.
Fuck yeah.
Because then it's like
100%, because that's what it's protecting.
Yeah, like you have your own insecurity, right? And then, but no one else really gives a shit about your insecurity but yourself.
No one even sees it, yeah. Because they're dealing with their own insecurities.
Yeah, your ego's all out there making sure that no one sees it and shit. And then it's like, before what? And it's doing all this work. And then you like, let's say you purposely take a picture on Instagram to hide your insecurity. And then so no one even sees it. But because your ego's out there like fucking doing all this work, like, who trying to talk shit about my woman right now? And then you look in the comments, oh shit. You try to talk shit about my nose? And then the ego gets into a fight in the comments. When the picture was even about the fucking nose in the first place, but it's the ego is that fucking trigger happy homie that always wants to fight for no reason. I wish I could put the ego aside, because that fool's always looking for a fight. I don't know why, but this motherfucker's always trying to fight all the time. And everyone's ego's like that.
Yeah.
Always like this. What?
Yeah. I mean, that just goes to show you that a lot of people have been through some shit that they feel like they got to protect it, you know?
Yeah.
Or they view their things as problems when they're not really problems. I don't know. We just had this whole planet conversation.
Like, don't talk about my Dodgers like that. And it's like, dude, you don't even own the team.
Yeah, but we just won.
Hey, but I've been watching them since I was like 5 years old, so don't fucking talk about my Dodgers like that. And then they're like, all right, just chill then. Cool, thank you. Do we agree to disagree that the Dodgers are the best?
Do you agree to disagree? Yeah, I guess we do agree to disagree. But yeah, you're fucking right, man. And I just started learning this shit like in my 30s. I think before then I thought like I was cool. I was coasting. I was cool. And I think I would purposely put myself in relationships where I was in control, where if that came up, or I was like the stronger one in the relationship.
Yeah.
So when that came up, I always knew how to like win. And I was never really challenged.
Sorry, I challenge you.
You challenge me so goddamn much every day.
Who challenges you more, me or Taika?
You.
Me?
100%.
Oh.
100,000,000 quadzillion%.
You don't think Taika challenges you?
He challenges my patience.
Oh, right.
But that's it.
That's true.
Like, he's not challenging my fucking mental state.
Tell me to do something. Like I'm Taika.
Go to sleep. Stop it. What did I say? Go to sleep. 1, 2. He waits till like 2.59.
Yeah.
God, he's such a fucking
He's a cutie.
That's him. That's him right there. Was sitting. That's just fucking his essence. Oh my God. But for you though, it's like, I am being logical. We need to be logical right now. We need to be adults about this.
Now you know it's my
and then
ego.
I'm like, I know. And then I'm like, I'm not going to talk to you right now. You're being very emotional. I'm not being emotional. No, I'm like, okay, you're not being emotional. So let's talk when you're not being emotional. Let's talk when you're being emotional.
It's my ego, the cholo, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, don't talk about my homie like that. I am being emotional right now. Or he would never admit it. I'm not being emotional right now.
Exactly. That's the ego.
You want to fucking fight, I say?
Yeah.
That's the ego. That's everyone's ego.
It is. It's hard. And it's just so hard to recognize it because you're just trying to protect your heart because obviously you're sad. And instead of saying I'm sad, because that I guess that's been viewed, at least for me, it's been
and the
viewed
ego's
as,
going like this to you too.
Yeah. And it's been
don't
viewed
fucking
as,
look, fool. I'm going to fight these for you.
and it's been viewed as something that's weak, you know? So you try to protect that weakness. So it's like, you don't even know how to say, hey, I'm hurting right now. And I think that's like the most strong anyone can be when they're like, hey, you know what? That
you
thing,
hurt me.
Yeah, that thing that you just said right now, like that really hurt my feelings.
You know what's crazy is I think in the animal kingdom that doesn't work because that
is a sign of weakness.
It's a sign of weakness. It's a sign of being beta. And if you show signs of being beta, then the alpha's going to come and punk you. So I think what humans, like our existence is really tough. We're really we built society on a way where we feel like can coexist harmoniously. But a lot of it really goes against our biological being.
Kind of, right? Because we have like different developed, like parts of our brain. What did I say? Mental developed?
Parts of our brain?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just have different parts of our brain that have developed over the fucking centuries, you know? So we do have that primitive part in ourselves. That's the one that's like, okay, we need to fucking eat, we need to survive, and we need to fuck. We need to procreate, right? So that's the super primal primitive part of everything. And that's the one that I think you're referring to. But we've also like we've developed. That's what makes us different than like wild animals, you know, that now we have reason and we have logic and we can critically think. So now that's why we can have so like deep relationships. It's not just about fucking. It's about like fulfilling wants and needs and like philosophizing and doing all that shit.
Dogs seems like they have deep relationships too.
No, they don't.
They could be loyal to someone for their whole life and they just committed to them.
Yeah, but that's not even a relationship. That's just a commitment.
Oh.
They're just fucking committed. But they're not even committed to their own partner. They're committed to your owner.
That's commitment right there.
Yeah. Yeah, but they don't have conflict. They're just always like...
They do have conflict.
With the owner.
You seem like fight a little bit. Like, you know, like sometimes you just, if you own 2 dogs in the back, you just hear that noise.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They're like fighting over a toy or like someone's guarding the food bowl or something like that.
Yeah.
They work it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a different type of conflict. It's not a very deep conflict, is my point. So yeah, I don't think we view that. I don't know if it was something that we're born with. That's the primitive part of our brain. That's like, saying, oh yeah, if you show signs of weakness, then the alphas are gonna like punk you more. I think it's maybe a societal thing where that actually was happening, you know? And I think it was like generational.
No, and that's
too.
also a natural thing.
I know, but I think I'm just saying that like other parts of our brain like dominate that, like the logical part.
That's what I'm saying. So the human part of us fights our biology part. So the biology part, like in a wolf pack, if someone has a hurt leg, they usually just go, okay, get out of here. You're ready to go die. You know, so they're trying to fight it off. Oh, I don't got a hurt leg or whatever. It's our human part that's like, oh man, you see that guy? Hey, that guy has a hurt leg. Let's all open the door for him. You know, let's help them walk in. Like that's the humanity part. So that's like we have to turn on our frontal cortex to do that.
Are you sure that's where it is in the front? Fine. That's
our cognitive side of the brain. But for other animals, you know, that's when we see a dog help another dog that's hurt, we're like, oh, because that's not normal. You know, most in the animal world, that motherfucker's left behind.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just thought that like just by nature we don't view it as sharing our emotion. I thought we were more complex than that. I mean, I don't know, right? Both of us don't know.
Don't know what?
That.
Because I know everything.
No, you don't.
I told you I know everything, but you can't ask any questions.
Why can't I ask questions?
Because then you're going to start figuring out that I don't know everything. So if you don't ask questions and you just ask one question or let me say what I have to say, then I do know everything. I know an inch about the entire world. But if you ask for the second layer, I don't know shit.
And how big is the entire world?
Fucking 1.5 miles.
Did I ask too many questions already?
Yeah. That's what I'm telling you. You could be asking these goddamn...
God damn, I don't even know what to say anything.
I told you
I don't know what to say
not
anymore.
to fucking ask me any questions.
Yeah. I don't know. One of the biggest things I've learned though, being like in relationships and fucking being 36 now, is that you just kind of have to be true to who you are and like you really have to understand who you are.
That's
right?
the tough part because people don't even know who the fuck they is.
Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. But I think it's really one thing I've learned too. Another thing I've learned is really just seeing how other people do things and then saying, hey, do I do things like that? And really trying to pay attention to what it is that you're doing. I don't think we pay attention to ourselves enough.
No, we're not self-aware enough at all.
Yeah, we're not.
Because if we are more self-aware, we can catch on to our ego when it's popping out.
But then the hard part to doing that is how do you know who's right and who's wrong, right? So if you are self-aware and in this particular group, you're seen as someone that has no manners, right? But then in another group, you're seen as someone that has too many manners. So where do you go? And like, what's your point of reference?
So I think people that are emotionally intelligent, not only are they self-aware, they're also group aware. So they can see their ego in themselves, but they can pull out far enough to see everyone's egos interacting and going like the people that I think that are the best conflict resolution-fiers, they are up here and they see everyone's egos interacting, and the solution that they come up with is something that can help all egos, and they can find a way to coax all egos rather than picking sides or going, oh shit, that ego. Because every's ego, their job is just to protect the insecurity, right?
Yeah.
So whatever insecurity they have, all these egos are fighting each other. And when you're not at that level, all the egos are fucking chest bumping and shit. And then if you have someone to bring someone in and they're not that high level, they pick a side and then they're like, so we'll agree to disagree then, all right? All right, cool.
I
man.
hate that fucking saying.
And then so you have that type of that person, right? But the person that's really good, it's like watching like a bunch of kids play, and it's like it's not really that they don't want to share. It's just that this person, every time they come and grab the screwdriver, gets taken out of them. So it's really about this person never having what they
Screwdriver,
want.
goddamn.
Or I don't know, whatever they're playing with, and they can almost see like, oh, everyone's just a bunch of kids. Because at the end of the day, we're all just kids, right?
We really are.
Everyone's just a bunch of kids fighting for their heart to feel good, and that they can really see that, and they can see themselves in that.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the level I think that people are trying to get to, so that they can just live harmoniously all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I heard it, from the great Tony Robbins. When you operate with your heart, you're smart, and then when you get in your head, you're dead, because it's like you're doing it. You're doing it for the ego's sake because you're protecting something, But if you just come straight from the heart, then it's your heart only wants good and goodness. So there is no cost to anyone's feelings or anything. It's like you just want to love.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard? It's fucking hard, man.
It is.
But it's so rewarding when you can have these epiphanies and you can change things, and like life just becomes a little bit.
What would you rather have? Would you rather have a epiphany, or would you rather have a Ferrari?
A Ferrari.
So epiphanies aren't that dope.
Ignorance is bliss, baby.
Now presenting the 2021 Ford Epiphany.
I'm so fucking.
Would you want the Ford Epiphany, or would
the
you want
real epiphany?
Or would you want the Ferrari? The Ferrari. Who gives a fuck? I'll take the 2021 Ferrari. Who gives a fuck?
I know. Fuck 2020, man. Let's go straight to 2021.
Yeah.
But anyways, on that note, thank you guys so much for listening. And thank you to our sponsor, Lightstream. Apply now to get an additional interest rate discount to save even more. The only way to get this discount is to go to lightstream.com/Bell, BEAW.
And also, Barbell Brigade, we just dropped our identity collection. So make sure you go check that out. Or about to drop our identity collection. Make sure you go check that out, barbellbrigade.com.